The trouble began, as most troubles do in the village of Akokwa, with something that seemed like a blessing at first. Baba Kofi had never wanted a smartphone. At 73 years old, he was perfectly content with his Nokia 3310, which he'd been using since 2003, and which had survived 2 floods, 1 house fire, and an incident involving his granddaughter using it as a hammer to crack palm nuts. The phone still worked perfectly, though the 5 button required considerable force to press and sometimes produced a 2 instead. But his children, scattered across Accra, Lagos, and one ambitious daughter in Toronto, had insisted. "Papa, we need to video call you," they said. "We want to see your face, not just hear your voice crackling like old ground nuts." So, they'd pulled their money and sent him a smartphone. A fancy one, the kind with 3 cameras on the back that Baba Kofi initially mistook for extra speakers. For the first week, the phone sat in its box, which Baba Kofi used as a coaster for his morning tea. He was afraid of it, truth be told. His neighbor Mama Adjoa had warned him that these smartphones were portals through which the government watched you bathe. Baba Kofi didn't care much if the government saw him bathing. At his age, there were no surprises left. But he did care about accidentally pressing something that would drain his bank account to pay for things called in-app purchases, whatever those were. The transformation came on a Tuesday morning when his youngest granddaughter, Akosua, came to visit from the city. She was 16 and possessed the supernatural ability all young people seem to have, making technology obey through sheer confidence and rapid finger movements. "Grandpa," she said, rescuing the phone from its cardboard prison, "I'm going to teach you how to use this." "I don't need to learn," Baba Kofi protested. "My old phone works fine." "Grandpa, your old phone can't even take pictures." "Why do I need pictures? I have eyes. I can see things directly." Akosua sighed the sigh of young people throughout history who have tried to explain new technology to their elders. "But what if you want to remember things?" "That's what my brain is for. Though, admittedly, it's not working as well as it used to. Last week I went to fetch water and came back with a chicken. I don't remember buying a chicken." "That's exactly why you need a phone with a camera." And so the lessons began. Akosua showed him how to unlock the phone, how to open the camera, how to take pictures. Baba Kofi's first photograph was his own nostril, taken accidentally when he held the phone backwards. His second was of the ceiling. His third was somehow of Mama Adjoa's compound next door, though he wasn't sure how that happened since he was aiming at his mango tree. But by the end of the day, he had gotten the hang of it. He took pictures of his garden, his house, his favorite chair, and approximately 47 photos of his feet because he kept forgetting the camera was on. Then, Akosua made a decision that would change the course of village history. "Grandpa, let me set up social media for you. Just TikTok. It's fun. You can watch videos." "TikTok? Like a clock?" "No, just trust me, you will like it." She created an account for him at Baba Kofi Village Life. There, now you can watch videos of anything, cooking, farming, comedy, whatever you want. What Akosua didn't explain, perhaps because she assumed he would never figure it out, or perhaps because she was 16 and therefore possessed the attention span of a disturbed butterfly, was how to post videos. She showed him how to scroll, how to like, how to follow, but never how to create content. This would prove to be a critical oversight. The real chaos began 3 days later with the goat. Baba Kofi owned 1 goat. Her name was Patience, which Baba Kofi felt was appropriate because owning a goat required considerable patience. Patience was stubborn, temperamental, and once ate a whole bag of cement, which resulted in a 3-day period where she couldn't defecate and made sounds like a broken accordion. But she was his goat, and he loved her, in the way that farmers love their livestock, with a mixture of affection and exasperation, knowing that one day the relationship would end at a ceremony with jollof rice. On this particular morning, Baba Kofi was in his garden, trying to photograph a butterfly that had landed on his hibiscus tree. He'd been attempting this for 20 minutes, getting closer and closer with the phone's camera, when Patience wandered into frame. Now, Patience was not a photogenic goat by any standard measure. She had one ear that stuck straight up and one that flopped down, giving her a perpetually confused expression. Her beard was patchy and she had a habit of sticking her tongue out at inappropriate moments. In good beauty pageants, if such things existed, Patience would have been politely asked to wait outside. But in that golden morning light, with the dew still on the grass and the butterfly dancing around her head, Patience looked transcendent, mystical even, like a God prophet about to deliver the 10 Commandments if the 10 Commandments were about the best places to find tender leaves. Baba Kofi pressed what he thought was the camera button. He had actually pressed the record button and then, in his excitement, had somehow opened TikTok and pressed the post button, a combination of movements that would have been impressive if intentional. But he didn't know this. He pocketed his phone, satisfied with his photography skills, and went to have breakfast. By lunchtime, the video had 300 views. By dinner, 3,000. By the next morning, the video of Patience the goat standing majestically in golden morning light with a butterfly circling her head, while Baba Kofi's voice could be heard in the background saying, "Stay still, you stubborn beast," had been viewed 1.2 million times. Baba Kofi remained blissfully unaware of all this. He didn't check his phone except to laboriously type messages to his children, which typically took him 15 minutes per sentence and contained creative interpretations of spelling that would make linguists weep. The first indication that something unusual was happening was when Mama Ajua rushed over to his compound, waving her own phone. "Kofi, Kofi, your goat is famous." "What?" "Your goat, on the internet, everyone is talking about her." Baba Kofi was confused. Why would people talk about my goat on the internet? Is this one of those scams? Did someone steal her identity? "No, look." Mama Ajua showed him the video. Baba Kofi stared at his phone, then at Patience, then back at the phone. "That's not even a good picture of her. You can see where she has that bald patch on her hindquarters. It has 1.5 million views. What does that mean?" "It means 1.5 million people have watched it." Baba Kofi considered this. That seems like a waste of time for 1.5 million people. Don't they have work to do? But Mama Ajua was already texting everyone in her contact list. By noon, half the village had gathered in Baba Kofi's compound, all wanting to see the famous goat. Patience, for her part, was entirely unimpressed with her celebrity status. She continued doing what she always did, eating things she shouldn't eat, making horrible sounds, and judging everyone with her unsettling horizontal pupil stare. The comments on the video were flowing in multiple languages. "This goat has more wisdom in her eyes than I have in my whole body. I have watched this 47 times. I cannot stop. Help. The way she looks at the camera, she knows. This is the most spiritual goat I have ever seen. Starting a religion based on this goat, who's with me?" Someone had even created a remix of the video with a trending song in the background. This version had garnered another 1 million views. Baba Kofi's children started calling, all confused and excited. "Papa, Papa, you're viral." "I'm not sick. I feel fine." "No, viral means famous on the internet." "Why?" "Your goat video." "What goat video?" This conversation repeated approximately 6 times with different children before Baba Kofi finally understood what had happened. He had somehow posted a video. The video had become popular. People were now interested in his goat. "This is ridiculous," he declared. "It's just a goat doing goat things." But the internet had spoken, and the internet had decided that Patience was not just a goat. Patience was a mood. Patience was a vibe. Patience was, according to one particularly enthusiastic commenter, the physical manifestation of rural peace that our stress-filled souls are crying out for. By the next day, things had escalated. A local news station arrived in Akokwa, their van bumping along the dirt road, to interview Baba Kofi about his viral sensation.
The reporter, a young woman named Essie, in a perfectly pressed suit that was completely inappropriate for village life, shoved a microphone at him. "Mr. Kofi, how does it feel to be an internet celebrity?" "I'm not a celebrity, I'm a farmer. The goat is doing all the work apparently." "Did you expect this video to blow up?" "I didn't know I made a video. I was trying to photograph a butterfly." "What's your secret to social media success?" "Not knowing how to use my phone properly." The interview aired that evening. The clip of Baba Kofi saying, "I was trying to photograph a butterfly," became its own separate meme. People made t-shirts. Someone created an animated version where Baba Kofi was a superhero whose power was accidental viral content creation. But the real madness started when brands began to reach out. The first offer came from a goat feed company. They wanted to pay Baba Kofi to post videos of patients eating their premium goat feed. "How much?" Baba Kofi asked suspiciously. 50,000 cedis for one video. Baba Kofi nearly fell off his chair. 50,000 cedis. That was more than he made in a year from farming. For a video of his goat eating. "What's wrong with you people? Have you lost your minds?" "Sir, your goat has 3 million followers now." "My goat doesn't even have 3 friends. How does she have followers?" But after consulting with his children, and after Akosua explained that yes, this was real money, and no, it was not a scam, Baba Kofi agreed. Akosua came back to the village to help him. She set up the shot. Patience in front of her feeding trough, the bag of premium feed prominently displayed. "Now, Grandpa, you just need to film her eating and say something nice about the feed." This proved more difficult than anticipated. Take 1. Patience refused to eat, staring at the camera instead. Take 2. Patience ate, but then immediately vomited because she had apparently stolen and consumed a bar of soap earlier that morning. Take 3. Patience ate normally, but a chicken wandered into frame and pooped directly on the feed bag. Take 4. Perfect. Patience ate, looked majestic, and Baba Kofi delivered his line. "Patience loves this feed. Look at how she eats. This is good feed." It was not Shakespeare, but it was honest. They posted the video, and it got 5 million views in 24 hours. The goat feed company was ecstatic. They sent Baba Kofi his payment, plus a bonus, along with a year's supply of goat feed, which was actually problematic because Baba Kofi only had 1 goat. More offers flooded. A telecommunications company wanted Patience to star in an ad for connectivity. A bank wanted her for a campaign about patience in savings. The pun was intentional and painful. A politician wanted to take a photo with her for his campaign, which Baba Kofi refused because patience has better judgment than to get involved in politics. The village of Akokwa transformed. Tourists started arriving, wanting to see the famous goat. Local vendors set up stands selling snacks and drinks. Someone started selling t-shirts with Patience's face on them. Baba Kofi didn't know how they'd gotten permission, mainly because they hadn't asked for any. Mama Ajua opened a small restaurant near Baba Kofi's compound called the Patient Goat Spot, serving local dishes. It was immediately fully booked. The chief of the village called a meeting. "Brother Kofi, your goat has brought prosperity to our village, but we need to discuss how to manage this situation." "Manage what? It's just a goat." "It's not just a goat anymore. It's an economic asset." This phrase troubled Baba Kofi deeply. Patience was his friend, in a weird interspecies way. He didn't like thinking of her as an asset. But the money kept coming. Baba Kofi, who had spent his life worrying about rain for his crops and whether his pension would stretch until the end of the month, suddenly had more money than he knew what to do with. He fixed his roof, which had been leaking since 2015. He helped his neighbors fix their roofs too. He paid school fees for several children in the village whose parents were struggling. He bought a new mattress, which he had needed for a decade but kept putting off. And he hired someone to manage Patience's career, a young man from the village named Kwame, who had studied marketing in Accra before the pandemic forced him to return home. Kwame created a proper content strategy, posting regular videos of patients doing various activities, eating, sleeping, staring into the middle distance with existential weight, judging passers-by. Every video went viral. People couldn't get enough of this goat. Fan pages sprouted in multiple countries. Someone created a Patience the Goat cryptocurrency, which Baba Kofi did not understand and wisely refused to endorse. A children's book deal came through. Netflix expressed interest in a documentary, but fame, as it tends to do, complicated things. First, there was the incident with the influencer from Accra, who arrived in a Range Rover, wearing designer clothes completely unsuited for village life, and demanded to take photos with Patience. "I'll pay you," he said, waving cash at Baba Kofi. "The goat is busy." Busy? It's a goat. It's standing there doing nothing. Exactly, she's busy standing. It's what goats do. The influencer tried to approach Patience anyway. Patience, demonstrating the excellent judgment she was famous for, headbutted him directly in the groin. The influencer left shortly afterwards, walking very carefully. Then there was the competing goat. A farmer 3 villages over, jealous of Patience's success, claimed his goat was more photogenic and started posting videos. The internet, loving drama, turned it into goat wars. Teams formed. Arguments erupted in comment sections. Someone created a diss track about it. Baba Kofi refused to participate in this nonsense. He said, "Let the man have his goat. There's enough internet for everyone." But the real problem emerged slowly, like water seeping through a crack. Patience was miserable. Oh, she was well fed. She had a new shelter, premium feed, regular vet checkups.
But she was also constantly surrounded by people, cameras, and noise. Tourists wanted to pet her at all hours. Photographers wanted specific poses. Someone tried to put a dress on her for a fashion shoot. Baba Kofi noticed she wasn't eating as much. She'd stopped doing her morning routine of destroying his garden. She looked tired. One evening, Baba Kofi sat in his compound, watching Patience in her enclosure. She wasn't even eating the premium feed anymore, just lying down, looking exhausted. Kwame approached with a tablet full of new sponsorship offers. "Baba, we have 3 more companies interested. This could be another 200,000 CDs. Baba Kofi looked at his goat, then at Kwame. "I'm shutting it down." "What? The account. Delete it. We're done." "But, Baba, the money." "What the money worth if Patience is unhappy? Look at her. She's miserable." "But the village depends on this now. The tourism, the businesses." "The village survived before a goat became famous. It will survive after." Kwame stared at him. "You're serious?" "I'm serious." That night, Baba Kofi posted one final video, while Kwame posted it while Baba Kofi dictated. In the video, Patience stood in her usual spot and Baba Kofi's voice narrated, "Thank you everyone for loving our Patience, but I've learned something. Fame is not meant for goats. Goats are meant for standing in fields, eating things they shouldn't eat, and judging humans with their strange eyes. Patience has been a good sport, but she needs to be a goat again, not a celebrity. We are deleting this account tomorrow. If you want to see goats, get your own goat or visit a farm, but let this one rest. Thank you, and may you all find your own Patience in life." The video got 10 million views overnight. The comments were surprisingly supportive. "Respect to this elder for knowing when to stop. This is the wisdom we need in 2024. The goat looks tired. Let her rest. This man just turned down millions for his goat's happiness. Legend." True to his word, Kwame deleted the account the next day. The sponsorships were cancelled, the tourists slowly stopped coming, the news cycle moved on, as it always does, to the next viral sensation, a cat in Kenya that appeared to be doing calculus. Life in Akokwa gradually returned to normal. Mama Jo's restaurant remained open, still popular with locals. The village kept the improvements that had been made with the influx of money, but the cameras left. And Patience?
Within a week, she was back to her old self, destroying Baba Kofi's garden, eating things she shouldn't eat, and making horrible sounds at inappropriate times. She even started judging people again with her full gut intensity. One morning, Baba Kofi found her trying to eat his smartphone. "Oh, no, you don't," he said, rescuing the phone. He looked at the phone, then at Patience, then made a decision. He called Akosua. "I'm going back to my old phone," he told her. "But Grandpa, what about video calls?" "Come visit me instead. It is better. I can make you proper food and you can see Patience in person." "Okay, Grandpa, I'll visit more often." And she did. They all did. His children came home more frequently, not to see a viral sensation, but to see their father and his stubborn, judgmental goat. The smartphone went back in his box, which resumed its duties as a coaster for morning tea. Baba Kofi kept his old Nokia, which still required considerable force to press the 5 button, but worked perfectly fine otherwise. Sometimes stories still trickled through Akokwa, asking about the famous goat. Baba Kofi would point to Patience, who was usually midway through destroying something or judging someone with maximum intensity. "There she is," he'd say, "just a goat." And that was enough. 6 months later, Baba Kofi was having tea with Mama Joa when she showed him her phone. "Kofi, look, there's a new viral boat." "Another one?" "Yes, in Tanzania. It apparently can predict football match results." Baba Kofi looked at the video, then at Patience, who was attempting to eat a plastic bag. "That goat," he said, "is going to regret fame very soon." Mama Joa laughed. "You could have kept going. You could have been rich." "I have a roof that doesn't leak, a comfortable bed, and a goat that is happy destroying my property. I am rich." Patience bleated loudly, as if in agreement. Or possibly because she had just discovered that she could not in fact digest plastic bags. Some things never change. And in Akokwa, that was exactly how everyone liked it. The moral of the story is that being happy and peaceful is much more important than having lots of money or being famous on the internet. Even though Baba Kofi could have kept getting rich, he stopped because he saw that the fame was making his goat miserable. He realized that being rich actually means having a simple life, a safe home, and taking care of the living things you love, rather than chasing likes on his screen.